President William Ruto has reiterated that Africa needs a new financing institution that is progressive to deal with continent's development needs. Speaking during the 39th annual general meeting of Trade and Development Bank Group, Ruto said the current Brentwood financing system is disadvantaging the continent's economic growth due to debt cycles.
President William Ruto is urging African countries to consider getting alternative financing partners. The president says in the wake of limited resources coupled with global economic slump, the continent must liberate itself from financial institutions that have burdened it with debt. Ruto noted that Africa needs a development financing institution framework that can handle this unprecedented opportunity effectively and deliver transformations in terms of integration through connectivity, economic development, and climate resilience.
Being the continent that has the greatest potential for greening growth and ensuring that we decarbonize industrialization, decarbonize manufacturing, and we have to reposition ourselves, represent Africa in a different way, away from the continent that was always profiled with all the negative adjectives.
Trade Development Bank Group Almasu Tadese says there is need to facilitate for open markets to increase regional investments.
There's a time frame for bringing down the tariff barriers, but infrastructure remains to be a big issue for many of the countries that are landlocked in Africa. And that's why you've seen major investments being made in rail and trans-African highways and all these other cross-border projects, is to help deal with the physical barriers to trade.
Speaking during the 39th annual general meeting of the Trade and Development Bank (TDB), Ruto said that the Bretton Woods system is inadequate and unjust in funding Africa.
Financial capacity and therefore economic development is urgently needed to provide necessary resources to invest in effective climate action. Increasingly, we are having to make the difficult choice between economic growth and climate action.
During the meeting, Kenya secured a 14 million grant for the Thome water project in Laikipia County.
Not actually intervention inside the trade relations themselves, but actually financing public goods that are going to facilitate trade and open borders. That for us is very important. Of course, at the end of the day, we will still also talk about payment system for African Continental Free Trade Area.
Frederick Moki for Prime Edition.